Welcome to the class 8 students. This is the part 2 of the chapter Reproduction in Plants. In my previous video, I have discussed till the topic of multiple fission, and I have also discussed binary fission. So we have discussed two of the modes of asexual reproduction in plants, binary fission and multiple fission. Okay. Next we will continue with the third one, which is known as budding. Okay. Now what is budding? In budding, a small bulb-like outgrowth appears. Okay, suppose this is the amoeba. Okay, so at any on any surface of which a small bud-like outgrowth will appear, and this is known as the bud. Okay, when this bud will grow further, will get bigger in structure. Suppose it gets big like this, then it will cut off from the parent organism, from the body of the parent organism, and then it will fall on the ground, and then it will start growing as a separate individual, and then when it will grow further, it will become the parent organism, and from it bud will appear, and this process will keep on going. Okay, so this process is known as budding, and it is seen in yeast, hydra, etc. Okay, moving on to the fourth one, that is number 4 is fragmentation. From the name you can understand that formation of fragments are taking place in this process. So in fragmentation, the body of the organism breaks up into 2 or more fragments. Suppose this is the body of the organism and it breaks down into 3 fragments. Okay, each fragment, then 1, 2 and 3, each fragment will then develop and grow further and develop into a complete individual. So from one parent organism, 3 fragments are formed, and 3 of them are growing further and making 3 parent organisms, from which further more daughter cells are being produced. Okay, so this type of process of asexual reproduction is seen in Spirogyra. Next type of asexual reproduction, the last one, is spore formation. Now what is spore formation? What are spores basically? So some bacteria, fungi, mosses and ferns reproduce by forming spores. Now what are spores? These are dedicated reproductive cells. The way sexually reproducing plants and animals produce gametes, means a male gamete sperm or female gamete ovum. Some lower plants, they can also reproduce by forming these dedicated reproductive cells known as spores, and they are tiny spherical unicellular bodies, round like structures, globular, and they are unicellular bodies which are protected by a thick wall. Okay, they are formed inside spore sacs. So I hope you can see this picture in your book. Okay, so these heads, these are known as the spore sacs. This one is a means enlarged picture of this one. This is a spore sac, and when this sac like structure will burst open, as you can see, the spores, which are very small round structures, they are all coming out. So this is the spore sac, and inside the globular structures that are coming out, those are the spores. Okay, they are formed inside spore sacs during favorable conditions. Means again, spores are formed during unfavorable conditions. To keep the spores protected from unfavorable condition, they are produced inside the spore sac. So when favorable conditions arrive, the spore sac burst open, and each spore then come out of the spore sac and then develop into a new individual on being released from the spore sac. So when they come out of the spore sac, they fall on the ground or any substrate, and on the ground or on the substrate they start growing further, and then they develop into a fully grown organism. Okay, I hope I am clear with this part, means the asexual reproduction in plants. So there are five methods or modes of asexual reproduction in plants: binary fission, multiple fission, budding, fragmentation, and spore formation. Spore formation is seen in Rhizopus, the common name of which is known as bread mold, means the green colored fungus like structures that we see on stale breads, that is known as bread mold, and the scientific name is Rhizopus. Okay, so Rhizopus is the example of spore formation. Moving on to the next topic, that is vegetative propagation. Now, what is vegetative propagation? The word propagation means to reproduce. Okay, so when reproduction takes place in a vegetative manner without involving the sexual parts of the plant body from the vegetative parts of the plant body, then that type of reproduction is known as vegetative propagation. Okay, in some flowering plants, a new plant can arise from a vegetative part such as root, stem, or leaf. So roots, stems, and leaves are considered to be the vegetative parts of the plant body, while the flower and the fruit, those are the reproductive parts of the plant body. Okay, so when new plants are produced from roots, stems, and leaves without the involvement of any reproductive organ, that type of reproduction is known as vegetative propagation. Okay, it takes place in plants which do not produce seeds or whose seeds cannot germinate. So in plants who do not produce seeds or the seeds cannot germinate, how will the process of reproduction take place in them? In them, the process of vegetative propagation takes place. It is a type of asexual reproduction as there is no fusion of gametes and no seed is formed. Vegetative propagation can occur by natural as well as artificial methods. So first discuss the natural methods of vegetative propagation. Okay. Natural methods. Number 1, by underground stem. The underground stem of some plants have buds that serve as means of vegetative propagation. So first one is underground stem. The first one is tuber. Now what is tuber? Tuber is a swollen fleshy underground stem. Okay, it's a swollen fleshy tuber is just a modified underground stem which can give reproduction to new plants. Okay, so it is a swollen fleshy underground stem. Potato tuber has many small buds called eyes. So if you have seen a potato, you might have seen small white structures on the surface of the potato. So those are known as eyes. Okay, each of which can grow into a new plant. So those eyes on the surface of the potato, those small white structures, they can give or they can grow into a new plant. Okay, next one is rhizome. This is a short branched underground stem. It has distinct nodes and internodes bearing buds which can grow into new plants. So where can we find rhizome? Ginger, banana, and canna grow from rhizomes. So remember the easier names, ginger and banana will be easier for you to remember. Okay, next one means the next type of modified underground stem is corm. What is corm? It is a thickened round underground stem that consists of a swollen base surrounded by scale leaves. It has one or more buds that grow into new plants. So these are the and corm is found in gladiolus. So these are the different types of modified underground stems. Means tuber, rhizome, and corms are modified underground stems that can give or that can propagate vegetatively and produce new plants. Okay, moving on to, oh, there is one more bulb is there, not three, one more is there, bulb. Okay, now what is bulb? It is an underground stem which with a bud and membranous leaves called scales, and you will find bulbs in garlic, onion. So onions and garlics look like bulbs, means the bottom portion is like this. This is mainly like this, na? So they are known as bulbs, and they have scales. We open the garlic or the onion by eliminating the outer scales of these. So that is why they are known as bulbs with outer scales. Okay. So I have completed till the natural methods of vegetative propagation, that is page number, that is till the bulb portion of page number 19 of your book. I will continue with the next part of this chapter in the next video. Till then you study till this much. Okay, thank you.